High above occupied Europe, through walls of flak and fighter fire, one aircraft became the backbone of America's air war, the Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress, a machine of steel and fire, and the men who flew her, legends. In 1934, the United States Army Air Corps issued a specification for a new multi-engine bomber, one capable of defending American coastlines. Boeing answered with a design that would change history. Their Model 299 was massive by the standards of the day, 4 radial engines, all metal construction, and an armament bristling enough to earn its name from a Seattle journalist who called it simply a flying fortress. On July 28, 1935, the prototype lifted from Boeing Field in Seattle. It was the most sophisticated bomber in the world. Early variants, the B, C, and D models, refined the design through the late 1930s, but it was the B-17E, entering service in 1942, that gave the Fortress its teeth, a tail gunner position, a powered dorsal turret, and the structural muscle for sustained combat. The F model that followed saw action in the skies over North Africa, the Pacific, and deepening into the heart of Nazi Germany. Then came the G, the definitive Fortress, adding a chin turret to counter head-on fighter attacks. Over 8,600 G models alone would roll off American production lines. At peak performance, the B-17G flew at 287 miles per hour and could reach a service ceiling of 35,000 feet, high enough that crews needed oxygen masks just to breathe. She carried up to 17,600 pounds of bombs over a combat radius of more than 800 miles, defended by 13.50 caliber machine guns manned by a 10-man crew. The missions these men flew were extraordinary. On August 17, 1943, nearly 400 B-17s struck the ball-bearing factories at Schweinfurt and the Messerschmitt plant at Regensburg simultaneously. 60 bombers never came home. The crew of the Memphis Belle became the first to complete 25 missions and survive, a milestone so rare it made international headlines. During Big Week in February 1944, more than 1,000 B-17s struck German aircraft factories in 5 consecutive days of round-the-clock bombing, a campaign that broke the back of Luftwaffe fighter production and opened the skies for D-Day. By the time production ended in May of 1945, 12,731 B-17s had been built. They flew over 290,000 sorties, dropped nearly 500,000 tons of bombs, and are credited with more aerial victories than any other Allied bomber. But behind every mission was a crew of 10 young men, most of them barely out of their teens, who climbed into the cold, thin air above Europe and faced odds that would have broken lesser men. The B-17 Flying Fortress, a machine built for war, and the men who flew her, they were something more.